Hello and welcome to My Family Empowerment. My name is Tish, your host for today for Marketplace Mondays. I am so excited to share with you one of my great friends that I just met with over the last year. She's actually we've interviewed twice. This is our second time. I'm so excited for us to share again because there's a lot that's going on over at GRCC. And she is excited also to share what's going on. So, Miss Jessica Pierce, please tell us in the audience who are you, what you do at GRCC, and whatever else you would like to share with us.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. It's nice to see you. Actually, I can't see you, but you can see me. So like Tish said, my name is Jessica Pierce. I am one of the program managers here at GRCC at our Tassel MTech. That's where our trade school is. So all of the hands-on learning happens in this building. I'm the program manager over our healthcare programs. So medical assisting, CNA, which is certified nurse assistant. We have a pharmacy technician, and there's a couple of them. I guess we'll get into that a little more when she asks me those questions. So I love what I do, and like Tish said, we have a lot of amazing things happening and helping the community with these short-term training programs. That's the thing. If you don't hear anything else, that you do not have to go to college for years and years and years to make a decent wage and be in debt. So there's lots of funding opportunities to help with your tuition assistance. And, we have people that are here that will connect with you, career coaches that will help get you along your way and make sure you pick the right program that is right for you. So like I said, I love what I'm doing. And so I'm excited. So I feel like I'm rambling because I'm so excited. So I'll just wait for her to ask me the questions.
Well, Miss Jessica, you know what? I am so glad that you just go on. You know what? Because that is actually proof that you enjoy what you do.
Okay.
Because, that's one of the proofs anyway, right?
Yes.
Because when you are enthrust in all that you do every day, and sometimes, not all the time, it feels like you're not doing work, right? You know that's part of the purpose for your current season in life that God has you. You know what I mean? I've had those moments, where I'm running and running and running, and it doesn't even feel like wait a minute, it's Friday already. Because you done went all week. Yes. But then there are other times you'd be like, when is Friday gonna get here?
That hurts.
And so I totally get it. And you mentioned something just recently that really resonates in my heart, and that is having opportunities to develop our skill set and our talents without even really having the tuition that goes along with it, right? So GRCC making this opportunity for our communities is amazing, because I totally agree. Many times what we go to school for is not necessarily what we end up doing.
Right. Exactly.
And that's tragic. It really is. And I'm a firm believer that when we are, children, the adult, the parent, the guardian, whoever that has, guardianship, should hone into what comes natural to that child before, so that you can start nurturing and developing that skill set. Because you never know, that may be the very thing that they go into when they're older, or they come full circle later on in life, like, I should have been doing this all along. But I think it's so important for families to really listen in to their children, you know what I mean, to find out what it is that really lights them up. And so, but I'm so glad that this program is available, because now sometimes we are going back to what our natural talents versus what mom and dad or whomever that really had an interest in our well-being wanted us to do, right? It wasn't our really choice, but sometimes just didn't work out, because you find out there's some certain areas that just really doesn't resonate, and really, like, it doesn't click, it doesn't vibe. So with this opportunity that you have described with workforce training and then the healthcare program, I think last time we met, you talked more about the trades. Now you've transitioned a little bit, so right, you share with me. So tell us about first what programs you're working with right now?
Okay. All right. So I just kind of want to piggyback off something what you had said too, as far as nurturing the young people and the children as they come up. Another thing happens is, we grow up in these families and we feel like we have to do what our parents did, right? And that's not necessarily in our hearts. So then, or we're forced to do something, and then so your heart's not in it, and then it's really not your best, right?
Mhm.
So just being able to understand what's out there, what's available, and then especially at a young age, um, being able to know what's out there so that you can test and figure out, do I like this? Do I like this? And that's one particular thing I like about trade school. So even though trade school, a lot of people say, well, college is not for me. I say college is for everybody. It just looks different, right? Because trade
Mhm.
school is college. The only
Yes.
difference is, you don't have to sit in a lecture hall for 3 and 4 hours, 5 and 6 and 7, 8 years. Trade school is normally short
Mhm.
programs, like our particular ones here at GRCC. Our workforce training programs are only 18 weeks long. That's 5 months.
Mhm.
And our healthcare programs, the ones now that I'm particularly over, our medical assistant program, that's 22 weeks long, so almost 6 months long. And then
Right.
we have our CNA program, that's a 3 week long program. We
Mhm.
have pharmacy tech and phlebotomy. So those are like 10 weeks long. And then we have a new program that's just being started, that's going to start in January. That's called a DSP, or direct support professional. So that program, that person, individual, pretty much works for the mentally, with has mental issues, right? So they might work in Pine Rest or those homes where you have people that may have some kind of disability. So you're helping them be independent, learn how to do things independently. And they may have a little behavioral issues, but just the mental capacity is diminished. So you're just helping them realize and helping them live to their full advantage. So there's more and more need for that type of healthcare professional, if you will.
Mhm.
Um, and so I said all of that with the trade schools and the short programs. You
Mhm.
can try a program and you might figure out, you know what, this is not really my calling, but maybe I like this. So then you're not wasting a lot of your time. You
Mhm.
hit on something like me. I have 4 degrees
Mhm.
and I'm not really using any of them, but I landed here at GRCC and I found my passion. My background is healthcare,
Mhm.
and then I've been part of GRCC for the last 5 years. So I was able to merge my healthcare background and realizing that I like to teach and train. So I was able to merge my two passions. And my degrees are in psychology. So I'm not doing anything with psychology. So I have some very expensive wallpaper. And
Mhm.
had I known about the trade school, so thinking about it, I was in the military. So part of my healthcare experience is working in the operating room as a surgical technician. And that's the person that hands the instruments to the surgeon during surgery. So we actually do have that program here offered. That is a 2 year program at GRCC. So we do
Oh.
have some, those are online. So that's a whole different part of a different healthcare consortium that we have. So RadTech. So there's so many different programs that
Mhm.
you can tap into to see what you like. And I know I just kind of found what I love doing is letting people know the opportunities. And then a lot of people of color don't have a lot of money, so there's tons of funding opportunities here. So then
Yeah.
you can kind of remove that barrier, right? Because a lot of times we feel I can't go to college or I
Mhm.
can't go back to school or learn something because I don't
Right.
have the money to.
Yeah.
Now's the time. Now's
Yeah, absolutely. Would you mind sharing just a little bit about the funding opportunities
okay.
so people would just have an idea what they're going to be,
Okay.
told once they contact the office?
Okay. All right. So if you're interested in any of our workforce training programs, so like we have welding, we have automotive, construction, residential construction, and construction electrical. We also have computer support and our medical assistant program. So all part of those are financial aid eligible. So for the students that fill out financial aid, these particular programs can fall under there. So then you can apply your Pell Grants. But then on top of that, we have a couple grants currently. Right now, we have one that's called the HRSA grant, and that's specifically for individuals that are looking to go into a healthcare program that leads with a certificate or certification, I should say, at the end. So our medical assistant, our CNAs, and our pharmacy technicians. So there's some qualifications to qualify for that grant. If I can remember correctly, because I'm not the manager over that, but I do believe you have to be a legal permanent resident.
Okay.
And you have to have graduated from high school or have gotten your GED and then provide proof of both of those things. So there's some documentation that needs to happen. Governor Whitmore, there's some things that just passed in the government. So Michigan Reconnect, I don't know if any of you've heard of that, but that's an opportunity where it's funding to help with going to class for participants that are 25 and older. Well, they just recently lowered that age limit to 21, and our training programs fall under the acceptance to be able to use those monies. So once again, if you're using that scholarship, you have to fill out, I think, financial aid for that, and then those officers can help walk you through that. If you're going into like medical assistant, Corewell Health now, they have a $2,000 scholarship opportunity, and 99.9% of our students, when they fill out the application to apply for our school and then apply for that scholarship, receive that scholarship. So then you're building up these funding. So you can use your Pell Grant, which is basically free money. It's not a loan. So I tell you, if you do not need to take out student loans, do not take out student loans because you have to pay them back. So you want to see what's out there. So you have that, and then it seems like every year we get a different tuition assistance grant or something that you do. So never sit back and wonder. Just call us and let us know, hey, what's available. I want to come back to school. What is available to help me offset tuition? And we can help reroute you, because there's things out there that's available that I don't even know, but then I know the department. I know people to connect you with that can help you find all of the monies that you need. So then taking out student loans is your last resort as far as going to school. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Less debt, the better. If you can get it.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Some of us don't get that till later. Like, okay, we should have.
I want to tell you that I just got mine paid off, and I've been out of school for a very long time, but hey, that's it. It is what it is, right? So.
Right. It is what it is. You know what? And there is hope. The business said that way. There is hope. Now, talk to us in reference to a person who is re-entering society and how from like prison, and they would like to get involved in one of these programs. What is the process for that?
Okay. So just like anyone, but specifically if you have someone that is re-entering the workforce, you call our number, the 234-3800, and you ask to speak to a career coach. So we have career coaches here in the building. You can call and make an appointment to sit down to talk with one of them. You can also just walk in. Our doors are open, and say, hey, I'd like to sit down and talk with somebody about some opportunities. I don't quite know where I want to go. And so what those career coaches will do is sit down and talk to you. And then they specifically know different community partners too that can help you get employed. We're heavily connected to a lot of employers in town. So a lot of our students, once they graduate, and a lot of them before they graduate, they have jobs before they even graduate. Awesome. And part of that is knowing what employers are going to take, individuals that are being reintroduced into society or whatever, making sure that they're set up to succeed and the support while, because we know sometimes that can be very, very hard. And then also be real and let them know, what programs you may have more difficult. You can go through the program, because we can't stop you from going through the program, but we don't want you to take a program where we know you may not be employable afterwards because of a certain felony or whatever. Because there's some some careers you can go into or want to go into. And if you have a felony, they're not going to hire you until, like you said. And then with that being said, our career coaches can also help you when they have those expungements
Right.
that go on. So maybe you're a person that needs something to be erased off of your, off of your record or whatever. So there have been a couple of expungement fairs going on, and our career coaches can kind of help navigate you through those opportunities that come up.
Okay. I was just reading some of the, the brochure where it's saying that the programs begin every other month.
Mm-hmm.
That's so true. Okay, so every other month, so they can come in one month and they just get all the paperwork ready if it's not
Yeah.
until the following month.
Yeah. So how that works is with our rolling, because we don't work on semesters here. So we're not like the main campus, the credit side. And I don't like to say the credit side of the house and the non-credit side of the house, because we're still the same house, I guess, with different wings. How about I use it that way?
I like that.
We're just on a different wing. So we have different assessments to even get into our program. So to get into any of our programs, you need to take what we call the work keys assessment. And so that's just basically testing your reading, your math, and then your employment documentation. Can you read a document that you might get at work and understand where to find the information on it? So it's very, very basic. Those that are just graduated within the last 5 years of high school and you've taken the ACT test, you can send those scores in, because 9 times out of 10 you've taken the ACT. That portion of it is the work keys assessment, and we would just need those scores to get you in there. I'm sorry, I got the rambling. What was that last question?
No, you did good, because it triggered that what
Yes.
we're talking about right now. So
How to enroll. So then you enroll. The application process is free. You just fill out the application. You take your work keys assessment, and then right after you take your work keys assessment, you meet personally one-on-one with a career coach, and they kind of debrief your scores to let you know, yep, you have this score. This is acceptable to get into this program, or hey, you might need to brush up a little more on another part of the test. So there's 3 parts to that test. And say one of the scores wasn't quite up to what it needed to be, you don't have to take the whole entire test over again. You just take that one part of the test.
okay.
And then, so that's what that is. And then what happens when all of that paperwork is done, because that can kind of happen together, you'll receive, hey, congratulations, you are now an enrollee of GRCC. They'll give you your student ID number and then steps on how you enroll yourself. So you actually enroll yourself into that program, but that can't happen until we have an application on file and your scores. And we do that because we need to make sure that you have the basic comprehension, so then you're not lost, because these are short-term trainings and they kind of move fast. So we want to make sure, once again, setting students up for success and so that they don't have to struggle.
Right.
However, life does happen. And that's another thing the career coaches do for you while you're in class. Say life happens, something happens or whatever, make sure that you're keeping that relationship open with your career coach, so that when things first happen, there may be resources. So we do have resources for students. So students that may have food insecurities or housing insecurities, those things, we have resources to refer you to so that you can get the help that you need. But if we don't know about it, we can't help you. And then we would hate for you to drop out of class because you might have needed a bus pass, or you might have needed a gas card or something like that. That's why we're here. We really want the student to succeed. But you have to keep that line of communication open. And then when we have graduation, at the end of the year, we have one coming up in December right here in our atrium. And we get to celebrate the students, and it's just amazing, especially the ones that come in and they were kind of struggling. Some work 3rd shifts and they're coming straight off, because our classes are 7:30 to 4, Monday through Thursday.
So I was just about to ask you that. Okay.
Yep. That's like a first shift job. And some students come right off of work and come straight into class. And it can be rough, but you tough it through 4.5, 5 months until you get to graduation.
That's so true.
So And then with the you said with the rolling enrollment, that's another thing. As soon as you decide, hey, I want to go into automotive or whatever, start your paperwork, get in, because it's a first come, first serve.
Okay.
Right? And because our classes are so small, it provides you with that one-on-one attention that you need. So the max amount of students in a class is 16. So
Okay.
not in a big old class with
Mm.
300 people like you would be if you were in traditional college, right? So,
Yeah.
so that's a good thing. That's a good
Yeah.
thing. So,
Absolutely.
start your paperwork, get your paperwork in. If financial aid is a way that you're going to utilize to pay your tuition, um, or if you're using like West Michigan Works, a lot of our students go through there, or they refer students to us and vice versa. So they're also um, a source of funding to help you get through school.
Okay. You are going all the way through it. I'm telling you, it's in you. It is in you. I am glad. So, okay. So, okay. So take me through the number of classes. So if I wanted to do residential construction,
Okay.
what does that look like? Well, you just explained how you get enrolled and all that stuff, but
Okay.
what does it look like for the class? Because I know there's some hands-on experience you get and everything.
And that's like with all of our job training, everything is hands on. So you spend about maybe 20% of your time in the classroom actually learning about that skill, and then once the instructor goes through those skills that you need to know, then the second half of your day most likely is spent all in the lab doing hands-on. So that's the great thing about it. It's a lot of hands-on learning. So if you like to learn with your hands, because that's what it's in, you got your hands and it connects to your brain, so it sticks in there. So with
Right.
residential specifically, they work with like Habitats for Humanity. So they're actually out in the field
Okay.
working in the neighborhood,
Yeah, right.
building houses. And right now it's about to be cold, so yes, you would be outside helping to build houses in the winter in Michigan.
Yeah.
um, but it's a beautiful thing. And when weather is really, really, really bad, we do have a lab here at the Tassel M Tech where they may learn how to build a wall structure or something like that that they can do inside. They build small sheds.
Right.
So just those basic tool knowledge. So
Mhm.
it's not like you have to take any kind of prerequisites like you would have to do if you were doing general education or going in to be a math teacher. You have to take all of these other classes before you have to take this class, right?
Mhm.
So you just come in and then they teach you everything that you need to know. There's a little bit of math in there, but they walk you through that. You have to learn how to read a tape measure, so you
Right.
make sure your house is standing and down,
Uh-oh.
those kinds of things. So, and that's the great thing about it too. Our students love because you're actually in the field working with other companies that are right alongside electricians and plumbers because you're physically building this house that someone will be living in. So,
Right. Right. Fellas, if you watching, even the females, I
yeah.
want you to don't allow yourself to not take advantage of this opportunity. If this is something that you are interested in, at least give it to yourself, to inquire,
Mm-hmm.
and sit down with a one-on-one, one-on-one with a coach
Mm-hmm.
to help with defining what that looks like for your life, because everybody's life is different. What you're facing in terms on day in day out is different. So I want to encourage everyone who is even considering, if it raised an eyebrow, I want you to reach out to, what's the phone number again?
616-234-3800. That is our main number here at the Tassel MTech. We also have, I want to say, the first and the third Monday of every month, we do info sessions
Okay.
where people can come in. You can also call that number and inquire about an info session where you'll learn about all of kind of more into depth of what I have gone through today, and then actually walk you through our lab. So then you can actually see the space and see the students that are in action so that you can be like, yeah, I'm interested in that, or oh no, I didn't know it was going to be all of that, right? So that's the good thing about it. You
Right.
can come and get the information and get the flyers, and then be able to talk to somebody more in depth about it. So
Right. And I don't mean to be gender specific. However, we just know that it's more men, more males that go into residential construction and things like
hmm
that, some of the main trades.
hmm
But there are women, I know some. And
hmm
then I want you to speak to the CNA. The women, mostly women, go into that
hmm
field. We know that.
hmm
Tell us a little bit about the CNA side
okay.
of what that would look like too, in terms of on hands experience and things like
Okay. All right. So our CNA program, Certified Nurse Assistant program, and then actually we are trying to get more men into our healthcare fields because, like you said, typically we think residential or nursing or healthcare is all for females, but it is not.
that. No.
It's for everyone. So I, especially now that I'm over the program, I really want to really diversify our healthcare programs because a lot of, especially people of color,
Yeah.
do not go into those programs, and I would really love to see those numbers change,
Yes.
so that we know how to take care of us when we
Right.
go. Because a lot of times we don't go because
Right.
that's why representation matters, right? We don't have people that look like us that we can kind of relate to.
Hmm.
Um, However, with the CNA, that program is only 3 weeks long. What that looks like is the same thing. You would call the office here and you would set up a time to take the assessment, the same work keys, make sure you get your scores. That training specifically does not happen on this campus. So we have a partnership with Holland Home that is on East Beltline and Burton.
Hmm.
And so we have a classroom that's right there. So the classroom, the front part of the classroom is where the lecture and the training happens, or theory. And then the back half of that classroom is, it mimics a patient's room. So we have mannequins in a patient room, so you get your hands on.
Okay.
The last week of that class, you're actually spending it in clinicals. And the thing about it there being at Holland Home, because that is a long-term health facility, your clinicals are right there on site,
Okay.
and where you actually work, and you'll be working with clients of Holland Home.
Okay. What's the difference between that, the CNA, and your direct support program?
Okay, so one is dealing with basically the mentally challenged or disabled disability. That's
Hmm.
the direct support professionals. And
Okay.
then CNA are basically working with the elderly,
Okay.
right? So they'll be working in, some CNAs work in rehab or home health, but a lot of CNAs will work with the elderly in the nursing homes and the skilled facilities. Some hospitals do hire CNAs. They may call them nurse techs.
Mhm.
So when
Okay.
you're in the hospital, you'll be the one that maybe you'll help change a dressing, or you help with ADLs, which is activities for daily living. So helping someone get dressed, helping
Okay.
them brush their teeth, maybe
Right.
helping them eat, those types of
Right.
things. So that's pretty much what your CNAs do. Um, and I say CNA, that program is a very good program to start if you're trying to figure out, is healthcare for me? Do I really want to get into healthcare?
Mhm.
Because that's one of the grassroots programs where it teaches you relationship with you and another patient. How can you take care of somebody? It teaches you empathy, because when you
Right.
go into healthcare, you have to have empathy.
You
You have to
definitely
be
do.
able to put yourself in someone else's shoes,
Right.
take care of them, and have the mindset of, one day somebody's going to take care of me, or um and just have that care. And I've seen, and being in the hospital, I can always tell coworkers that started off at the grassroots levels, as opposed to somebody that just got out of high school and then boom, went to med school, and then now they're this doctor.
Yeah.
There's just sometimes, not saying all, but
Hmm.
sometimes there's an element missing, and I don't know if it's that real connection
Yeah.
with that. So
Right.
CNA, and it's a great foot starter to get you into healthcare and be like, yeah. So there's a great career path for that, because some go through CNA and then they go get their medical assistant,
Hmm.
and then they may go on to get their RN, their nursing,
Right. Yeah.
and then go on from there.
Right.
So there's so many different avenues that you can.
There are. What happened to the respite thing? I did that for a little bit. That's why I'm actually she didn't even say respite, because, but it's, I don't
Yeah,
know. They
yeah,
changed the
I don't.
wording.
Well, some places do, and I don't know if you use that. I don't. We don't necessarily have a respite program, but
Okay.
um, when you are dealing with, the elderly or just anybody that's sick, and you're the primary caregiver,
Right.
and for those of you who don't know what respite is, right? You
Right.
sometimes you need a break. You need to run your own errands. You
Yeah.
need to go get things. So
Right.
basically, that's somebody else that can come in and help take care of your loved one
Right.
while you take care of other businesses, and just that self care, because you have to learn in everything
Right.
self care, because you have got to take care of yourself,
Right.
as you're going on. But
Because I think that's like the war of the ground level, because you're going relieving family, right?
yes,
And so
yes,
I did that for a little bit. Oh my gosh. And you're right. You are so right. If someone comes in at those levels, you get a better appreciation of what
there you
that
go.
person requires, right?
Yes,
Your
yes.
mindset, your, outlook on life changes,
Hmm.
and then just working with people who are having to handle that type of situation on
Yeah,
a day-to-day basis.
yeah,
Like, man, because it makes you look introspective,
right,
introspectively.
right.
Did I
And
get
it's
it out?
funny you said that, because I got my LPN training in the military, right?
You
And
do.
yeah, I did. I'm a jack of all trades. I did a little bit of everything. So I said that you're talking about the respite, and just not. I didn't go on and work as an LPN, because at the time LPNs were just only in the nursing homes, and I was young, and
Okay.
I'm just gonna be honest, I was afraid of old people. But now that I'm old, we're pretty cool. So I mean, I'm not afraid of old people anymore.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
Okay.
not afraid anymore, because one day someone, and so that opened up my eyes. I didn't realize I had a bias as in regards to generations, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, old people are this way, but
Mhm.
they're really not. They're sweet,
Right.
and they're
Yeah.
they're the same thing. So, like you said, just being able to care for someone, and
Right.
that connection, and
Yeah.
that just helps us thrive and feel better, even if
Yeah.
just to see a smile, like, how are
Right.
you doing,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
just, yeah, I just love being able to put a smile on someone's face, whether
Yeah.
it's working in healthcare or
Right.
any of our other trades that we have, or just coming to work, and my
Right.
coworkers, right? So
Absolutely.
mhm.
Absolutely. So I just want to say your building is beautiful. I had an opportunity to visit on last night for this pre-city commission type meeting talking about housing and things like that. And it's so funny because remember, I was just asking you, is it the tech center you at? He was like, yes, I am. So I'm, now we're talking about it right the day after, right? So,
Mhm.
but the building is beautiful. Oh my goodness. I wanted to take a tour, but I had a long day yesterday. So I was like, I'm running out of there. And so, but tell us a little bit about your facility. I think it's just beautiful.
Yeah, so this facility here, I think it used to be, I think it came here in 2002. I think it used to be over on Ball Street. We had the tech center over there.
Okay.
This was way before me. So, like I said, I've only been here 5 years. But we have one, two, three, we have three labs here on site. So we have our welding lab here. And we have different programs that are in welding. So our welding lab specifically is one of the largest welding labs here in West Michigan.
Mhm.
So we have our training facility that happens, but then we have employers, because we do customized training as well. So they may bring their students here to learn a specific skill on something that they're working on. We have welding robotics, so you can learn, and that will happen like if you're in our 1 year certificate welding program, where you learn how to program the robots to weld. And then we have our automotive bay, if you will. We have two bays. So where our job training does the basic brakes and electrical and those types of things. Then we have an identical automotive lab on the other side that gets more into like transmission and the more meats and potatoes of car repair.
Okay.
And then those students are the ones that are either in the 1 year certificate program or working on their associate's degree.
Wow.
And which made me think, if you are in our job training programs and you start here to get your certificate, a lot of our students do go on to further education to get their associate's or bachelor's degree, because we do
Right.
have partnership with Ferris University. So a lot of our students will go off and do that.
Right.
And then we have our construction lab, where the residential constructions, like I spoke about earlier, will learn siding and roofing and how to put up soffits and I don't know all the different things, so I'm not in there. I'm
Mhm.
trying to get them to build me a tiny home, but I digress. I'm not gonna get in that one. And then we have our construction electrical, so the wiring, and they literally learn how to read blueprints and how to put up the wiring, how to wire a house, and those kinds of things. So those are the labs that we have in here.
Mhm.
Pre-COVID, our computer labs was here because we have computer support technician. But
Mhm.
since COVID, that program has gone 100% online, um,
Oh,
which is actually the learning. A lot of people don't like online learning, but if you think about the environment you would be working in as a computer technician, you're
mhm.
working remotely, right? So it's
Right.
not
Yeah.
like you're working one-on-one. So it
Mhm.
really gives you a real life environment that you're working on.
Mhm.
And then with our medical assistant on main campus, that's where all of our medical like mock offices and things are. So that is on the main campus where we have other healthcare programs, nursing and
Okay.
rad tech and dental. You have all those things. So
Oh,
that's yeah. So our building is, yeah, classrooms are on the top, and then our down here on the bottom are where our I started to say our warehouses. That's not what I was going to say. Where where our labs are.
okay.
So that
Okay.
go ahead.
So those of you who are watching, she's in a place right now where there's a lot of stuff going on. So if you heard a lot of
I
bings
know.
and
I'm sorry. I could take my laptop and do that, but then I probably won't.
so I just wanted to make sure I said something because I know they're like, what is all that noise?
Yes.
But nevertheless, it's still a beautiful place. I'm so thankful for you to even consider coming on with me again. And I hope we can do it again because I think people need to hear it. You know,
Yes. Yes.
everybody is tuned in at the same time, or
Hmm.
they have different things going on, but I want to continue to share what you all are offering because our community needs it, our people need it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so more we, and sometimes we got to hear it over and over again
Oh,
before we start getting it,
and
for
that's
those.
okay. Yes,
Right.
that's okay. And I just once again I want to reiterate, trade school is a beautiful thing. You learning that specific skill so that you can get right into the workforce and you
Yeah.
don't have to wait for 2 and 5 years. You can boom, get right into the workforce and start making livable wages, good money. A lot of these students, they graduate and they start off at $20, $25 an hour
See,
just for going to school for 5 months.
for 5 months, and then there you are in a place and position to get
Yes.
a real
Hmm.
job or and
Yes.
enter a real career.
Yes. Yes.
So, and it makes a difference, right? It
Hmm.
makes a
Hmm.
difference going into something that you really know you have a skill set for.
Hmm.
You just didn't know how to put it together so
Yeah.
that your resume will reflect
Yes.
who you
Yeah.
are. You know what I
And we
mean?
do, speaking of West resumes, so we also have people here too, job developers that help with resume, building your resume,
Okay.
and interviewing skills, those
Okay.
types of things. So, like you said, we really like to set you up to succeed. Get your training, help you
Mhm.
while you're going through your training, connect you to employers that are hiring.
Yep.
Um, and the great thing, because employers in this area know the caliber of student that we produce, right? So we get calls all the time. Hey, I'm looking for CNAs. I'm looking for medical assistants. So they're calling us looking to see when is your next graduating class because they want to
Yeah.
get in front of the students
Right.
and snatch them up. So
Right.
that's the thing I love. I love about that.
Right. And you got people like, pick us. We want to come. We have some openings.
Yes.
Exciting is that, you know?
Yes.
So I just want to wrap up by saying thank you once again. Thank you so, so very much. I know we will be doing future interviews again
Hmm.
just to
Hmm.
connect and see what's changed, what's new, just like your
Yes.
position changed
Yes.
further right and where you are, where your sweet spot is, if you will.
Okay.
So good to see you. So good to see you. So I'm hoping that you have a wonderful holiday season.
Right.
Here we are, the 17th of November.
Right.
The year is almost done.
I
So
know it.
God bless you. Let me just pray us out. Father, I thank
Okay.
you and praise you right now for all that you are in our lives. Lord, I thank you for every person who will tune into this broadcast. Oh God, I pray that something was said that would trigger them to say, that is for me. This opportunity is for me. So, Father, I thank you right now that you would provide ways for them to connect with Miss Jessica with GRCC. The number was shared several times today. If they need any help, Lord God, I thank you that they would reach out, oh God, I thank you, Lord God, for this season, this holiday season, that you would surround us with people we love. You would surround us with people that we can encourage and uplift and build up. Thank you for Miss Jessica. Thank you for GRCC and what they are doing. And I thank you that they are a pillar in the community, oh God, doing so much great work. It is in Jesus' name we pray. Amen and thank God.
Amen. All right. Thank you for having me.
Yep. You have a great day.
Yep. You as well.
All
Bye bye.
right. See you later.